Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stock Talk Thursday. My name is David, and I'm coming to you in a recording today because when you're going to be watching this, I'm going to be flying on an airplane, traveling for Tradeway to an event. So coming to you in a recording today, but I still would love for you to put in your comments, even questions if you'd like. We can always get to those afterwards as well when I'm able to get back to the computer. So feel free to treat this like any other Stock Talk Thursday. For you guys, it'll be May 19th, 2022, and the year is flying by. All right, so want this to be interactive as much as possible. If you throw in a question, I will do my best to get back to you. Let's take a look at what's going on in the overall market. Keep in mind, as I'm recording this on a Wednesday afternoon or evening, I don't know what's going to be happening for me tomorrow. So the screen that you're going to be seeing, the charts that you're going to be seeing are as of market close on Wednesday. That will not be, obviously you won't see live stuff going on for Thursday. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if my, comments and analysis on what is going on still hold true when you are watching this. So we'll have to take a look. But let's jump in right here. There we go. We've got the S&P 500 overall market. Lots of interesting stuff has been happening. As you know, Tradeway, we've declared a bear market. We haven't hit that 20% low yet that the economists, can't talk today. The economists consider to be a bear market. Actually, this is really interesting. We were watching this on what day was this? So this was Friday. I believe that was Friday. Yeah, Friday last week. And we got within like 3 points, within 3 points of the 20% mark. And then it just took off and went up. It's like all the big boys and the players, they don't want a bear market. They wanted it to stay bullish, but don't kid yourself. We're not bullish right now. It's definitely looking more bearish. So we did move up off of that low right there, just barely missed that 20% mark, started moving up, ran right into an area of resistance that had previously been support. That was honestly my guess as to where the market was headed, was we'd probably run into that same area of what had been support and now could be resistance, and then it would fall down off of that. So we did, closed right up near that line yesterday, which, for me is Tuesday. And then to Wednesday here, just some big drop down. I mean, that's a big candlestick, kind of like that day or that we've had so many of these. We're familiar with these now. It should not be surprising anymore. So, we made this lower low after the high, low, lower high, lower low. Coming up here, maybe a kiss goodbye action where we actually hit that previous line and then fall down. Will we go ahead and make more lows? Once we actually hit that 20%, and I'm not trying to predict the future, but it just seems imminent, right? Doesn't it kind of feel imminent that we're going to go into a bear market pretty soon here? And we don't have far to go, right? Right now at the end of Wednesday, market closed at 39.23. It needs to get below 38.55 in order to be a bear market. You get one more candlestick like this on Thursday and we're there. So it's very possible by the end of this week that economists are calling it a bear market as well. We'll just have to see what happens. Let's jump into what is hot and what was hot and not last week, and then let's look at this week. All right. So what was hot last week was Kraft Heinz Company. Okay, nice uptrend, moving higher. We looked at it on this day right here. That would have been, actually, just kidding you, it was this day right here, the 12th. That was last Thursday, and came back down right at support, moved up off of support the next day, up just a little bit, and then hit that same area of resistance. You see I've got a horizontal line here, so I believe we had some extra history. Yep, there you go. Almost a year ago to the day, almost. We were right up at the same level, about 44.5. So hit that, fell down off of there. You have a bit of a wedge going here now, an ascending wedge. usually tend to break out to the upside, but not in this case. Look at this candlestick. Wow. That is a 9.3% drop on Wednesday, just that day. And so that's pretty big drop there. So KHC definitely not hot anymore. Let's look at what was not hot last week. That would be Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros last week, had that massive drop on earnings. Moved up a little bit, but could not fill in the gap. Before it even ran into the 5 EMA, started moving sideways, and then started moving down a little bit. This one is below the 5 EMA, so it's not even getting bogged down by the 5 EMA. It's just below it. So Dutch Bros still not being hot. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in to what is hot this week. So let's go to the industry chart for that. Got the S&P in the last week. What's the one industry that has actually, clearly been hotter than the rest? And that would be energy. We've seen a lot of energy, but I don't think it's been. I think it's been a couple weeks since we looked at an energy stock. So here we go again. Energy is the winner. So let's go ahead to the heat map and find. Let me reset the filters here. There we go. Energy is right in here. Again, I've got week selected. So here's all of our energy stocks within the S&P 500. Now I want to go ahead and just filter some of these out. We'll go right about there. And with what's left, we can go ahead and see what was, up the most. And I'll just cut to the chase right here. It was Pioneer Natural Resources Company, PXD. That is our hot stock for the week. So if I can find my mouse again, there it is. Okay, there we go. I lost my mouse for a second. We want to pull up the chart here and take a look at what's been going on. All right, let me go ahead and set one thing here. There we go. PXD is our hot stock. First thing I like to do, let's just put a few lines up on here so we can actually see what we're looking at. I want to do that more with you guys as we move forward, where I start drawing some lines, because that's really important, and I don't want to overlook the importance of that. Let's start off with a horizontal line on just a fairly clear area of support. We can drop that right about there. You can see it was resistance back here, and then it turned into support. Several touches down there. Even after it moved up, came back down, bounced, came down again, bounced. So pretty strong area right around that $220 level for an area of support. Let's go ahead and drop another line. I'm not going to do a horizontal for this one, but we'll do a regular line. So it's a little more difficult to see, but I want to highlight this area of resistance at about the 258 level, somewhere right around there. Kind of moved sideways, came back down after that. Moved through it a few times here, so maybe that line is only really valid for this area right in here, but I'll pull it out a little bit further. And one other line I want to throw up on here as well. Let's go ahead and do this uptrending line. There we go. Check that out. That's a pretty good line. You see how, it's almost like the big boys, they drew that line and then forced the stock to ride it and then bounce off of that line right there. So we got a few lines that we're looking at, and that kind of helps me look at a chart and see what's going on. First thing that jumped out at my mind is we're a bit extended from this line. So I'm probably not going to want to just go ahead and jump right in to this right now. It is a pretty hot stock, even though we have a little bit of a bearish engulfing candle right here where, that body completely takes over the body of the former candlestick. It's still hot because look at this. It came and bounced right off the 5 EMA and moved up. And remember, guys, we got to keep this in mind with what the overall market's doing. Overall market, all the EMAs are inverted. The 100 simple is even below the 200 simple. Big solid candlestick down today. And then you're looking at Pioneer Natural Resources. It's moving up. Bottom left of the screen to top right of the screen. Yeah, a little bit of a red candle, solid candle today. But it's above the 5 EMA. That's pretty hot. It bounced off the 5 EMA. That's pretty hot. So This definitely earns the spot of the hot stock for today. Just some fun statistics. You know, I always love throwing statistics out there for you. Up 23% since April 25th. So just right here, that's 3.5 weeks ago. It's not that long. Up 23% just in that run right there. If we go look at the last year, here we go, right here. 10 months ago, stock value was worth half of what it is now. So it's doubled in value. And then, of course, I always like to get a broader perspective. Here's your COVID crash. Bottom of the COVID crash near about 50 or so, maybe just below 50. And we are more than 5 times that right now. So definitely a hot stock, definitely outperforming the market. You know, it's energy, right? You know, the oil and energy industry has just been really hot for a while and has gotten even more ridiculously hot. So there you have it. That is our hot stock for the week. Now let's jump into what is not hot. And guess what? I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. Our not hot stock is Kraft Heinz Company. This was our hot stock last week, and I'm just bringing it right back in and running around for the not hot stock of the week. And it's because of this candlestick. This is massive. I almost started going to my whole spiel before when I was doing the recap of last week, and then I had to kind of pull back because I was getting excited about this. But here, I'll just pick up where I left off. 9.3% drop on the day. That is pretty huge. We'll talk about in just a second why that happened and what's going on there. But a couple other just technical things you can see. Look, there's you got your resistance line, and we looked at the last year, and you can see that there's former history there. But there's 1, 2, and then come back up, and 3 bounces down. So you got a triple top happening. On top of that, you've got a little bit of just a small M right there. Now, one thing I want to highlight here. This is Exhibit A, essentially, in why we do not buy at support. You might be thinking, what? We've always been taught to buy at support. Nope. You missed a very small thing if you think that we buy at support. We buy after it bounces up from support. And so we have our uptrending support line right here. If we bought at support, we would be very sorry today. If we had waited for a bounce, we would have seen that bounce never really came, right? Now, you could have looked at the previous bounce. That was a bounce. You could have gotten in for a very, very quick trade up to the resistance level. There really wouldn't have been much in there. You could have bought off the bounce here and up to resistance. But right here, there was not a bounce. So that's why we wait for the bounce before we get in. So what's going on with this one, right? And where is it going to go? Well, let's take a look. You know, it came right back down, blew right past the 50. I wasn't watching this during the day. I'm not sure if it hesitated. Probably hesitated a little bit at the 50 and then came down further. But finished the day at the 100 simple. So what does that mean for tomorrow? What's going to happen? Well, or for you, guess what? When you're watching the recording here, you might be able to pull up, charts by Tradeway if you've got a subscription and take a look and see what KHC is doing. That would be very interesting. So, you know, it could bounce up a little bit off. Some of them call that a dead cat bounce if it doesn't continue. If it continues farther down, where is it likely to go? Well, the first thing that you see with grabs your eye here is a 200 simple, right around 37.5 or so. Could go there. I might go ahead and just, if I can grab that line, there we go. I'm going to pull this line further over. Right about, there we go, right about there. That's where I want it. You can see how that was resistance. Then it was support for a while, resistance again, support right there. So I wouldn't be surprised if right at this level, right about $38, we get, some hesitation. Maybe it holds there for a couple days or so. Maybe it blows right through it, kind of like it did with the 50 EMA. So no telling, but I remember kind of cracking a joke last week, saying like, well, even in a bear market, people got to eat their mac and cheese, but I guess they stopped eating their mac and cheese. So, but really, what's going on with KHC? Why did it drop so much? I had to do a little bit of research on this and found out it's not necessarily that there's anything bad with KHC. One of the biggest investors was Berkshire Hathaway. And Warren Buffett runs that. We all are familiar with the name Warren Buffett. Actually, you can go ahead and look here, Inner Circle, Institutions, click on detail, and there you go, Berkshire Hathaway. They're the biggest holder, or at least they were. I don't think this thing is updated by the minute, so this could still be updated in a little bit here. But you can see that they are the biggest holder. And Warren Buffett decided to move some money out of there into oil stocks, oil and energy, which makes sense, right? I mean, oil energy has been moving up. We've talked about Warren Buffett before and how he got into OXY, another energy stock that's been moving up a lot. Read that he was moving more money into energy and oil. So there you have it. KHC is our not hot stock for the week. We'll be bringing it back again next week and just to take a look at it and see how it's been holding up. It's kind of been an interesting one. We haven't had one before where it was the hot stock one week and the very next week it was the not hot stock. But, just a final thought that I'll leave you with here. If we're looking to still be bullish in this market, maybe we want to take a look at oil and gas stocks, energy stocks. Because, I mean, after all, that's what Warren Buffett is looking at. That's what he's doing. So there you have it. Go ahead and stop being the share right now. There we go. I want to let you guys know about something next week, Thursday. We are doing an Amped introduction webinar. If you're not familiar with Amped, it is our longer-term investing program. And we have some very unique ways that we handle a bear market. And as the market is looking more and more like it could be bearish, maybe even by definition so, this is where the AMP program really shines. So I want to invite you all to a free webinar. I thought I could drop a comment in here for you guys, but it is not letting me. So my link that I want to give you is not going to work, but I'll tell you what. We're going to make it work one way or another. Tomorrow, we're going to hop on. We're going to drop that link in there so you can see. You may not see it right this second while you're watching, but come back and then you'll see a link where you can register for a free webinar giving you information about our Amped longer-term investing program. So anyway, that'll wrap it up for this Stock Talk Thursday. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.